Stay safe.
Stay active.
And stay healthy.
Hi there, Chris here from Past Physical Activity and Sports Specialists, and we hope you're staying safe and active whether you're at home or at school. Today we are going to be doing lesson 4 of the year 3 and 4 athletics lessons, so hopefully you've joined us for the first 3. And today we're going to be moving on to look at some pacing or some longer distance running, thinking about how we can control our speed to allow us to perform for a longer amount of time. So for today's lesson, all you're going to need is some cones and a stopwatch. And so if you want to collect your equipment and then get ready for activity 1. Okay, so for our warm-up, we're going to start off a little bit like a car does in the morning. We're going to start off slowly, and then as we get warm, we're going to get faster and faster and faster. So just like my car, I'm going to be working in gears 1 through to 5. So in gear 1, I'm going to be going at walking speed. Gear 2 is going to be a fast walk. Gear 3 is a slow jog. Gear 4 is a faster jog. And gear 5, I'm going to be sprinting on the spot. I'm going to do about 30 seconds of each one to get warmed up. So we're going to start off in gear 1. So that is walking on the spot, swinging our arms and marching our knees. Lifting your knees up each time, bringing your hands like we did in our sprinting lesson from our hips to our shoulders. And keep going. Okay, we're going to start to speed up a little bit now, so we're going to go up into gear 2. So we're going to start doing a faster walk now, so bringing our knees forward faster, swinging our arms maybe not so high this time, just a little bit lower as we're going a bit faster. Bring it up and back. Now we're going to go into gear 3, so gear 3 is our slow jog, so with a nice bounce in my step. Keep my arms nice and loose by the side of my body, swinging them forwards and backwards. Then up into gear 4. So I'm now going at a decent jogging speed, driving my elbows and my hands, lifting my knees up each time, looking for faster feet than we were before. And then our last one, we're going to go into a sprint. So we're going to do a 10-second sprint. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, blade hands, 5, 4, 3, drive those knees, 2, 1, and relax. Whew. Oh, I hope you're feeling warm like I am. So if you want to carry on with that warm-up, you can get someone at home to call out those different gears for you. And if you want to, they can even call them out in a different order. So you could be swapping between gear 4, which was our fast jog, and then back down to gear 2, and then up to gear 3, down to gear 1. Okay, hopefully you're nicely warmed up and ready for our first activity. So as we already know, when we're running fast, we use a lot of energy. And if we're taking part in a longer race and we run too fast, we'll run out of energy far too quickly. So we have to slow down. And slowing down helps us to store energy ready for the later parts of those races. So we're going to be thinking about pacing today. So pacing is the idea of running slower than your fastest so that you can go for a longer amount of time. So in order to practice that, we need to try and practice running at certain set speeds. So what I'd like you to do is set up a square of cones, or you can use jumpers or any markers, that's about 10 metres by 10 metres big. So about 10 steps along, 10 steps down. And I want you to time yourself to run around that 10-metre area 5 times. And you can run at any speed that you like, but try to make sure you stay at the same speed. And that's going to be really important. So mark out your 10-metre area and go and time yourself to run around that area 5 times and then come back. Okay, so now you've timed yourself going round, I'd like you to do it one more time. But your challenge is to finish your 5 laps in the exact same time that you did your first 5. So if, for example, you did your first 5 laps in 1.5 minutes, Your challenge is to finish in exactly 1.5 minutes. Again, if you did it in 1 minute and 45 seconds, your challenge is to finish in 1 minute and 45 seconds. So it doesn't actually matter how fast you went the first time. The people who are best at this activity are the ones that finish closest to their first time. So go and give it a go. If you don't get close, you could always try that again and again to try and get your timing right. Welcome back. I wonder how you managed to do in keeping your second time as close to your first time as possible. As we know, when we're running, we often try and go too fast and then our speed changes. So trying to run at that consistent speed can be really tricky. So you can try it again and again to try and get as close to that first time as possible. Now for our next activity, it's going to be even more important to stay at a sensible speed to complete the task, because we're going to be taking part in an 8-minute Cooper run. A Cooper run is a test used to test your fitness for going for a long amount of time. So what you're going to do is, using your 10-metre square from the last activity, you're going to start on one of the corners and you need to time yourself 8 minutes. And your challenge is to see if you can jog around your square for 8 minutes without stopping. Trying to do a full 8 minutes without any walking or resting. Now to do that, I don't think you're going to be able to sprint the whole way round. You're probably going to have to slow down. So if it was me, I'd be thinking about the gears that we worked in our warm-up. Am I going to use gear 1, which is a slow walk, gear 2, a normal walk, gear 3, a slow jog, gear 4, a fast jog, or gear 5, a sprint? I think it's either gear 3 or gear 4, isn't it? It's going to be a slow or a medium jog. So, set yourself up on the corner of your 10-metre square, have someone time you 8 minutes and see if you can keep going for that full 8 minutes. If you'd like an extra challenge, you can also see how fast you can go round. But, most important, no stopping. Welcome back. How did you do with your 8-minute run? Often it sounds quite easy when we start, and then when we get going, a couple of minutes in, we often feel out of breath. So when that happens, we have to slow ourselves down to make sure that we can carry on going. So hopefully you've enjoyed your pacing lesson and now you're feeling nice and worn out. So we're going to do a little bit of light stretching just to recover. So I'd like to start off just putting your hands up above your head and then stretching up to the sky. And once we've gone all the way up, we're going to go all the way over to one side and then over to the other side. Then we're going to put our hands on our hips and we're going to do some hip circles, working round and back the other way. We're going to open the gates of our knees up and out and then close the gates out and in. And then our last one, keeping your feet nice and straight, reaching all the way down to your toes, trying to keep your legs straight and your arms long. You can bounce a little bit at the bottom and all the way up to the top. Oh, excellent. So I hope you've enjoyed your pacing lesson and you've learnt some skills for doing some longer distance runs in the future. I look forward to seeing you next week for week 5 of our athletics lessons. And remember to stay safe, stay active and stay healthy.